What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of All the Mod 7. Today, we are going to be building our Supercritical Phase Shifter. Today, that's what we're going to do. It's going to happen. And we're going to get started making those Antimatter Pellets, which I'm kind of excited for because this, in my opinion, is it takes the absolute longest to make. The pellets are the most annoying thing to make because, as you see, we had to set up a lot of things to get to this point. We're almost there, and we can set this up, and then it'll just make it forever, and then we'll have Antimatter Pellets, and then we could just move on with our lives and do other cool things like Botania. You know, Botania. Guys, if you're enjoying these videos, make sure you hit like and subscribe. It really helps the videos and keeps us going as a channel, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so to build this Supercritical Phase Shifter, we're going to build this on the back side right here because we are going to need to import and export power. Well, just pretty much import power and then export. Basically, we got to put polonium inside of it, and then it will give us antimatter, which we then use a machine to turn it into pellets. So we have our polonium over here being stored whenever it's being created right here. It is stored in this, and then we will pipe this over into a port over here, and then we will have a port going out that goes into a machine and turns the antimatter that it makes into pellets, which is dope. So the only way to do that is to start by, I guess, building it, right? So if we want to build this thing, we actually need several things. So let's just talk about the construction of everything first. That's what we're going to talk about. So to construct this thing, you're going to need some structural glass, which it does apparently work. You're going to need some SBS casings, which the recipe for this is, it's pretty difficult. You have HDPE sheets, you have polonium pellets, and you have a plutonium pellet in the middle. So it is rather expensive to make these. And the SBS port actually needs 4 casings per to make it work, which is actually insane because, oh, this is expensive. So according to this handy-dandy website that I just read about and just looked up, it's just like our turbine that we made over there. You actually will need 60 casings, about 2 stacks worth of structural glass or reactor glass, whichever one you prefer, and SBS ports. You can, the SBS ports are up to you and how many you want to input, output, but you definitely need 2, 1 for each supercharged coil, and you need 1 for input in terms of inputting the polonium and 1 for output to output the antimatter. So that's kind of important. And then we have all of this other normal stuff that we need, some pipes and stuff to pipe in. We're going to use a network receiver to pipe in the pellets. And yeah, the flux points will be for our power. And the chemical oxidizer is actually how we make the pellets. You will pump in the antimatter. You need 1 bucket's worth and it will give you a pellet. Like I said, we need about 9 of, actually, I think we need 11 of these is total because we need 3 of these gravitational modulating units, which is pretty cool. And then you need it for the philosopher fuel. And you also, I do believe, need it in the pressure chamber right here for the pulsating black hole. So let's get started building this. I'm actually not going to use the building gadget at all right now because you have to build this a very specific way. It's actually cool is I'm actually going to use this little structure that I have here. Now I laid this out because the block itself is actually 7 by 7. It's not like it's a cube or anything like that like we see with the reactors where they're all cuboid or whatever. It's not like that. This is actually more like the fusion reactor over here where it looks like this and you build like a star shape. So what we could do is we could actually start on the bottom here, just like this, and this is our bottom facing. So we're going to put these casings just like this. Okay, on each of these corners, we're going to put just like this, and then we're going to fill the bottom out with structural glass. All right. So we got to do the same thing to each of these sides, just like what we did with the fusion reactor where we had a star pattern. We're just going to take this same pattern right here. So F3A, we'll refresh that. And we're going to build it up just like we did over there. So we just have to follow this pattern. So it goes up 1 like this. And then the next 3 will be 5 wide instead of 3. And then it's 3. And then it's the casing. So gonna make this 5 wide like this. Okay, so we go up 2 just like this. We gotta go 1 more. And then we go 3 across like this. And then we finish it with the casings. And then right in the middle here, we're gonna put one of our ports. F3A, just because it annoys me. And then we're gonna build the same structure. Now, again, we will have to do the same thing over here. We have to put the casings on the side like this. Okay, so we need to do exactly this, but for each of the sides now. So let's do that. And then on these corners, we want to make sure that we fill this in just like this. We're going to make sure that each corner piece connects like that. And then let's continue. And before we close ourselves in with the top here, we want to take these supercharged coils and you want to put them on these ports right here. So according to the website, you only need 2. I've seen some YouTube videos and a couple other things talk about having more than 2, but apparently 2 is the max. I don't know if that stays true or not, but I'm just going to use 2 for now. And you got to make sure that these are put on the ports just like this. And then we're going to finish out the structure. And if you finished everything properly when you place this here, it should finish, question mark? Ah, I missed these 2 pieces right here. Okay, got to make sure we finish these corners off. This should finish it. Unless I missed another piece. I did, I missed another piece right here. And another piece right here. And there we go. Now we could delete these corners. And now we have a completed supercritical phase shifter. Just like I was talking about before, you're going to have a port on the inside here, and this is going to be for polonium. So this is where we're going to pipe in our polonium from here. And then you're going to need a port over here for outputting whatever it is that comes out of it. So the antimatter to turn into antimatter pellets, because pretty much, to be honest with you, there's not really that many uses for antimatter. You could actually use the, it's called an antiprotonic nuclear synthesizer. Yeah, I don't know about all that. It basically will, if you give it some antimatter, it will turn some items into other items. So like you could get gray wool turned into quartz, which is actually kind of cool, I guess, if we have like, because there's no quartz farm, you can take 2 millibuckets of antimatter and, change gray wool into block of quartz. It's actually kind of cool, I guess. Anyway, let's go ahead and pump this into our chemical oxidizer. Did I say chemical oxidizer? I meant chemical crystallizer. Oh, okay. That's my bad. Ooh, that we already have one of those. That's gonna be my bad right there. That's okay. That's on me. I messed that up. It's supposed to be a chemical crystallizer. So yeah, oh, this one's full of lithium too. That's kind of, that kind of makes things difficult. Let's just go ahead and get that going. Okay, now with this, we'll be able to input on the top from gases here. Input at the top just like that. I wonder if this actually takes, does this take liquid? Okay, so it's not liquid. Okay, good. So this will make us the pellets. If we come over here and we look, you see there's the output right there. And then we want to output this into our system. So let's put that importer here, and then we'll put the network receiver here. We'll hit this with a network card just like normal. And then I'll set this up when I get back. Go ahead and put a stack upgrade in here, and that way we could just come into this, and we want to make sure that the items output on the right like this, and then that should output to our system once we get this all set up. So now we need to give this thing power, and we're going to do that with our points here. So we have specifically, we want to make sure these are set to reactor power so that there is power on the inside here. And we want to set this up for both of these ports here. You want to make sure that both ports right here with the coils on them have power. Now you could actually just use one and then go all the way around the edges if you wanted to, but I'm just going to do this. So we want to make sure that we do bypass limit, and when we set these things up, so that way when it does pull power, it can pull as much as you want to. You can actually set a limit if you say, for this instance right here, if you only had one network or whatever for power, you can set this up to have a specific limit. Let's say you only want like 100 million FE, or you want to store some of the power over here. You could do that with these things, but I'm just going to turn the limit off. All right, so now we want to port in our polonium. These things right here actually have polonium in them, so I'm going to need to port down, because the pipes here won't actually let you pull from these unless they're from the bottom. So I'm going to need to go underneath here, and then we can kind of pump it over here like this. We can just keep it underneath the ground to make it look better. And now we want to make sure that we pull from the bottom here. So if we shift click twice, we could pull from both of these like this. I'm going to hit F3A because for whatever reason that messed some stuff up. But now we should see that the polonium is actually being pulled out of here and going into here. So we have it in here, which is dope. This is radioactive, so keep that in mind. All right, so now we just kind of need to get this thing going. We need to give it some power. Oh, turn on power surge. Yes, because the other ones have the priority. That's why. Oh my God, this is the one that has the priority. 40 million FE per tick. Jesus. 43.59 million FE per tick is what we're producing on this. That's crazy. And this is getting our antimatter. And as you see, we are producing antimatter. Slowly but surely, we are producing it. It's actually going up, which is kind of dope. Jesus Christ. We are producing this at 0.1 millibucket per tick. So let me turn this sound off real quick. And let's talk about this for a little bit. So seeing the millibucket per tick doesn't actually really help you mentally think about how fast you're making it, right? You need 1,000 millibuckets to make one bucket worth, or a pellet worth, right? Okay, so 0.1 millibucket per tick. So basically reading this is 0.109 millibuckets per tick. For whatever reason, and I guess it could just be me, but most people I feel like probably would read this as that it's producing a 1/10 of 1 millibucket per second. There's actually 20 ticks per second. Okay, so you're actually making about 20.0. Oh, well, now we're not making anything because it's running out of power. Did it already drain all the power over here, bro? No way. Oh, it just drained all the polonium. Okay. But yeah, basically there's 20 ticks per second. So multiply that times 20, and that's how much you're getting per second. Now that it's nighttime, it's actually not producing any polonium at all. And one of the key things here is that we also need to disable these right here from getting any kind of nuclear waste, because these don't need nuclear waste anymore. So what we can do is we can come over here to our gases and just click this button and it'll turn it all off. And we just don't need any more. We don't need any more pellets or anything like that unless we're going to make like 16 more of these. And what this will do is it'll make it where now the only priority is actually in here. So we see how the nuclear waste is building up in here, and that's because it's nighttime. And these are empty, so we could actually take these off, hopefully. And these are empty, so now the only limiting factor is my polonium. So the key thing to take here is that if you're trying to figure out how much antimatter that you're going to need to make this thing right here, if we set this up for power and everything, let me just go to bed so I can show you the numbers and everything, because I feel like that helps me whenever I show the numbers and stuff. So let me do that. And while I'm here, I might as well go ahead and plug in my network card, right? Yeah, sweet. And this is to the oh, it's actually kind of cool that it says aluminum mining. That's kind of dope. Right now, our current limit is actually polonium, and you can see how it's barely producing anything, and it's just basically per tick or whatever it's going through. It's trying its hardest to keep up as much as it can, but basically at this point, polonium is our bottleneck. Now, normally what I would do is I would make a massive nuclear reactor, our fission reactor, right? So the fission reactor, I can make this massive, and that way it could produce more of a byproduct, which then it can come over here into these and be turned into polonium, and we can make more polonium that way. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, because of the way this playthrough is going and how often I leave my stuff up running, it's actually not that big of a deal to me, because we will still actually get enough antimatter over time to produce this. So right now, all the polonium that we had stored was enough to make basically a little more than a quarter of one pellet. And that was not enough. So maybe we'll eventually make the reactor, but I think for right now, this is perfectly fine as it is. And it's perfectly fine. There's not really a big reason for me to do anything more with this. It's fine because this will constantly make us some antimatter over time as it progresses, and slowly build up a little bit more. So we'll have to check on this on a later episode as these set this up. I will say, if you're doing this and you're trying to make the star, this should be one of the earlier things that you do in the pack, because it does take more time. Now, you could make it faster by making a much bigger reactor in the beginning, like a much bigger fission reactor. If you have the production and stuff for that, go for it. Do it. Do your thing. For me, because this playthrough is going to take a little bit of time, I am more than happy right now with how it is and getting it set up and it just being kind of slow. So overall, I think we're pretty solid on pretty much everything. We can see this is still creating some brine. We have some brine in the backup. This is completely empty of lithium over here, and it's slowly draining over here, but it's still going up, so it's good. And I think pretty much we are finished with everything that we have to do out here. I think everything pretty much runs and consistently works as long as it can. There's not really any issues here. This is still pushing into here. This is completely empty because it looks like it's all being ported into these tanks, which they're still going up over here in these pipes, which is good. Our fusion reactor is running at max. I didn't mention this last time, but the max injection rate you can do is 98. That's something important. We could probably fiddle with this a little bit more to make this get to the max production, but I'm not really too worried about it because, as you see over here, we're actually still producing enough power, which is fine by me. And as this works through everything, the polonium and everything gets created, we'll eventually get our antimatter pellets. So I think for the most part, when it comes to Mekanism out here and the Mekanism setup, this is pretty much everything. There's not really a whole lot more that we can kind of do with this except for make us some mech armor, which I've never made the mech armor, and I'm not really sure if it's worth making or not, but I've heard a lot of really cool things about it. Like I've heard that there's a jetpack unit, you can put an elytra on it, solar recharging unit, radiation shield, laser depletion. I'm gonna be kind of honest with you, these units are actually kind of dope. Like this is pretty cool. Like I'm not gonna lie, I put some of these mech units over here, and we're just gonna go ahead and make it. Just like I always do, I'm just gonna go ahead and make these recipes so I can start checking them all out. I think they're really, really cool. Because we can have night vision. This gives us night vision. This is kind of cool too. I wanna make this one. We're just gonna make a ball, bro. And to edit any of this, you actually have to have a modification station. So keep that in mind. We'll get with that in a second. And the mecha tool seems pretty cool. I don't know exactly what it does, but apparently can install modules on it too. I mean, it's the same thing as the atomic disassembler, which does take some vibranium to make. Just gonna go ahead and grab the recipe for that, and we'll make the mecha tool later. And here's our modification station. I don't know where I want to put this. Let's put this right here. Woo! Okay, now let's add these all in here. Okay, so here's our modification table here. This doesn't have power, so I will need to get out a point for this. Ooh, what is that compass? Y'all see the compass in the bottom left? I wonder if this only connects from the back. Oh, it only connects from the back. Oh, well, at least it's got power. Okay, so now we can add some stuff to it, which is kind of cool. So this one goes to the body armor. Okay, so I gotta put it over here like this. Okay. All right, cool. And then we could just put this back up here. So whatever it's supposed, this goes on the pants. Okay, that stacks, right? Right? No, it only goes on one. Okay. What we got here? Helmet. All right. Cool. We got another pair of pants thing. This is the one that stacks, the locomotive boosting unit. We're gonna need to use that later. And then we got more pants. This one is supposed to be to repel water. Okay, this makes it where we can swim better. Okay, so the pants can have more of these locomotive boosting unit. Let's go ahead and grab 3. Okay, so now we have all these that stack. Let's stick these on here. All right, now we have MekaSuit. Oh, dude, I look so cool. I look dope. Look at that. There's a tree in my face. Oh, dude, I look so cool. I look like something out of Terminator. I even got that it's like a little skull on my chest. That's so cool looking. The question is, how do I make myself faster? Maybe there's some keybinds in here. So we type in mech, click on category. What do we got here? Boost, chest mode, feet mode, head mode, V. Oh, H turns the compass off. What does V do? Oh, night vision enhancement. It also does something else. I just brought up my inventory. That's kind of cool. J opens up this, but it sprint boost bump to 1. If I keep hitting it, okay, apparently 0.5 as fast as it goes. Okay, all right. Even though that spammed that, let's see what happens here. I'm fast as fuck, boy. Did I get the radiation installed on this thing? Okay, let me go ahead and make these 4 real quick, and then we should be good. Now we gotta install it. And now we don't need these hazmat suits. Sweet! I look so cool! All right, this wraps up today's episode, and I think it pretty much wraps up Mekanism until later on down the road, right? Until we actually get enough pellets. I mean, we're pretty much set up to go with Mekanism. This could just work for a long period of time, and I'm kind of not in a rush. Or maybe I am. I should be getting out some more All the Mod 7 speedrun videos out very shortly. I have these ready to go, and trust me, it's gonna be worth it, okay? It's gonna be worth it. You just gotta believe me. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. If you like these videos, make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, all that good stuff. If you're enjoying this, if I've helped you along the way, it all really means a ton and helps out the video, so I really appreciate it. Next episode, we're getting started with Britannia. We're going away from technology and actually getting our time in the bottle, which we should have gotten a whole lot sooner, and I just should have done it anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next episode, bye-bye!